Chapter 4, Understanding Laws. Till now in the previous chapters, we have discussed about what is a parliament. Now moving on to the details of how a parliament works. The main duty of the parliament is to formulate laws. So the responsibility of formulating the laws is entrusted to the parliament, which we have discussed in the previous chapter. Now moving in to know how a law has been formulated, how we come to know that this law has changed, or are all laws applicable to all people? Is there any controversial law? If there are any controversies in the laws, whom to be approached? What is our responsibility as a citizen? How should we respond to this? All this we will be discussing in this chapter. Does laws apply to all? Laws apply to all in the similar manner. Why are we questioning this one? Earlier, India has experienced the colonial rule of the Britishers. Now moving in, after India attained its independence, the framers of the constitution do not want any kind of arbitrary rule existing in our country. So they have made it mandatory by making laws in the constitution that everybody is equal before the law. It can be a government official, a lawyer, a doctor, a common man, the president of the country, whoever does any mistake, irrespective of their position, their economical background, their caste, their color, their creed, whatever may be their background, whomever may be, he may be a famous personality in the society, he may be a film star, he may be a cricket star, whoever he is, he may be a government official holding a key position in the government, also should abide to the rules and regulations which are laid in the constitution. If anyone is found he is violating the rules and regulation, will be meted with the same punishment what is being met with a common man when he does any mistake. Even if the President of India is proven that he has done something wrong, the same kind of punishment would be given to him what is being given to a common man when he has done the same mistake. So there is no difference between individuals when they done any crime or any mistake. When they are doing any crime, the courts or the law checks only the crime what they have done, and the punishment will be given on the crime. The judgment will be given on the basis of the severity of the crime, not on the basis of the background, not on the basis of the caste, not on the basis of color, not on the basis of creed. So in India we have the right to equality, where everybody has equal rights to access everything equally. At the same time, we also have rule of law. The rule of law means that the rule of law states clearly that any individual, he may be anyone, whoever does any crime, he is eligible for the same punishment which is prescribed in the constitution. It cannot be changing or varying according to his economic background or his social background. There are different examples for this. If any individual does crime, he should be punished under the same laws of the constitution which are meted if such kind of crimes are done by people. And in the ancient India, we can find the differences of the judgments for the same kind of crime done by different categories of people. Because in the ancient period, the people are divided into different castes or categories. Especially the higher caste people are exempted or very light punishments are given to them when they are doing any crime. If the similar crime is done by a lower caste person, then they are being given a severe punishment which is completely opposite to what the higher caste person has done, and the punishment has been meted to him. So these kind of variations you find in the ancient period of India. And during the British rule, do all laws are applicable to all equally? Does laws have any exemption to anyone? No, there is no exemption given to any particular category people or any high profile people in the society will not be considered in courts. According to the court, everybody is equal, everybody is a citizen of the country. But when we look in the experiences of the past, in the ancient India, we have seen the judgments are given basing on the caste, basing on the color, basing on the religion. So all these made us to understand that there is no equality during the ancient societies of our country. And moving on further into the details, especially during the British rule, that is, during the British rule, there were colonial laws. The colonial laws were arbitrary. The law was completely arbitrary in nature. As we saw in the introduction of the lesson itself, that the Constitution want a ruler not to be arbitrary. So this arbitrary rule should not exist in future in our country. Why? Because during the British rule, we have faced that one. We have seen the severity of that. We have seen how the Indian people voices are being crushed off using these laws. How the Indians are beaten up without any reason when they were asking for their own rights in their own country. So all these things made the framers to understand the necessity of having certain laws in place which brings equality and earns respect to every citizen. Now moving into the details of the British rule. Britishers made many laws which were arbitrary in nature, and if any of the Indians tried to oppose them or ask or object them, the Indians were brought into custody. That was also a special act was passed, that is the Sedition Act of 1870, through which anybody in the entire country who is protesting against the British rule can be arrested and imprisoned without any trial and can be tortured for many days. So these kind of laws reveal for us that during the British rule there was no equality. The Indians have struggled a lot. If you look at the example of Rosa Parks in United States, where she has denied to give her seat to the white man when he demanded. She is fighting against segregation between the blacks and the whites in the United States, where she was facing severe criticism in the early days. But she was the one who first started to revolt against the US segregation laws. It was only after her moment what she started. The civil rights movement gained knowledge and ground, and slowly now the laws are being brought to get everyone in the lines of equality. So like this, any incidents which have happened in the history becomes a strong base for us to make laws. Britishers have created many laws, especially to target the Indians who are fighting for independence, to imprison them, to arrest them, to torture them, or to deny them giving the right to assemble, the right to conduct meetings. So all these things make us to understand what are the problems of the arbitrary rule or the arbitrary laws which are in place prior to India attained its independence. And now we can see the Hindu Succession Amendment Act of 2005. The Hindu Succession Act was amended in 2005, which entitles the wife and the children the equal rights of succession of the husband's property. Like this, the laws are not giving any exemption to anyone. In a similar way, the laws which are framed are from the past experiences which we have drawn for our country, which the country has experienced, faced, and suffered under the colonial rule. So, in the independent India, the framers of the constitution do not want any laws which have brought troubles to the people. Now, moving on to a fundamental question. From where does the laws come? Who formulates the laws? How can a new law be formulated?